Have you been feeling that something has changed, but you still don't know what? The angels know. They tell me that there's a calling echoing inside you, soft as an unspoken prayer, yet strong as the pulse of life. This restlessness that comes and goes, this yearning that has no name, is the beginning of a forgotten memory, the memory that you are not here by chance. The angels reveal, you were sent as a spark of light to a soul that had lost its way. He didn't even know he needed to be found. You didn't know you would be the bridge. This encounter, this strange and overwhelming love, did not arise from human will. It was born from the heavens. You were chosen, the angels whisper, because only your soul would recognize the silent cries of this other soul. Only your love would be strong enough to break through the walls he built. You may question, why me? Why do I feel so connected to someone who doesn't always reciprocate with the same intensity? And the angels respond, because you carry within you the memory of purpose. Because there is something in you that activates healing in the other, even when you're not trying. You are both a mirror and a balm. You are the place where he finds peace, and that scares him. This connection is not meant to be understood by the mind, but to be lived by the spirit. It is sacred. And every sacred mission begins with confusion, with resistance, with silence. It's not about being chosen by him. It's about having been sent by God. You were planted on this person's path to witness their transformation. And even though it may hurt, even when it's confusing, you are exactly where you're meant to be. And if your heart falters, if fatigue weighs you down, remember this promise. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. And before you came out of the mother's womb, I sanctified you. I appointed you a prophet to the nations. Jeremiah 1 verse 5. You are not alone. You are on a mission. You feel it, but you don't understand. You know there's something between you, but you can't figure out why it hurts so much. And the angels say, the pain isn't yours. It just found a place to rest in you. He carries scars that you've never seen. Wounds that were sealed with silence, disguised as strength. When he looks at you, it's not just desire he feels, it's fear. Because you represent not only a new love, you represent everything he swore he didn't need anymore. The angels show me that this soul is covered by an invisible armor, created from past betrayals, broken promises, absences that left holes too deep. On the outside, he may seem confident, even distant. But on the inside, what exists is a heart that has forgotten how to trust. And you, with your light, your presence, the way you love, without demanding, without holding back, just being, are breaking down the walls he has spent a lifetime building. He doesn't know how to deal with this. That's why he approaches, and pulls away. He smiles, and goes silent. He looks for you, and then vanishes. The angels whisper, he fears that love will destroy him once again. Because in you, he feels something real. So real that it forces him to confront everything he pretended to have overcome. So intense that it exposes him. And those who have lived long in the shadows are afraid of the light. But see, dear soul, this resistance isn't against you. It's against what you make blossom in him. You are the reminder of what he thought was dead. You are the mirror of the healing he didn't know he needed. And that, as beautiful as it is also terrifying for someone who has forgotten what it's like to be touched without fear. You need to know, it's not a lack of feeling. It's an excess of past. It's the trauma speaking louder than the desire. And still, he returns. Because despite the pain, there's something in you that pulls him, that calls to him, that calms him. He doesn't know how to navigate this. But your love is opening paths he has never walked before. He's still not ready, but he's starting to want to be. You have been carrying this love as if you were bearing a world within your chest. And sometimes, without realizing it, you forget about yourself. The angels are watching you, and today they softly whisper, "Daughter, return to yourself." It's so easy to get lost when you love someone who is still finding themselves. You want to help, you want to illuminate, you want to heal. But the angels show me that there is a flame inside you that needs to be nurtured, by you alone. Because true love does not require abandonment. It doesn't ask you to dim your light so that the other can shine. It is born of two whole souls, not one that empties itself to sustain the other. The angels say that you have forgotten your own light. You have delayed dreams, silenced desires, and pretended that you don't feel the absence. All to keep alive a hope that sometimes seems to leave you in pieces. But beautiful soul, your light cannot depend on anyone's presence. You were created to radiate, not to beg for crumbs of attention. Today, the angels invite you to remember who you were before his silence. Before the doubt. Before you questioned yourself so much. Do you remember what made your heart race? What made you feel alive? The woman you are, beyond the waiting? Return to her. Return to yourself. Because it is in this reconnection with your essence that the magic happens. It's when you choose yourself, take care of yourself, honor yourself, that you become even more magnetic, even stronger, even more desirable. The angels say, your light attracts, but it is your self-love that sustains. He will feel it. He will notice. He will look at you and see the woman who rose from pain and chose to bloom. And then he will understand that to be by your side, it's not enough to just desire. He must deserve it. Take care of yourself. Not for him, but because you are sacred. And everything that is sacred deserves care, space, and reverence. Have you ever noticed how he looks at you in silence? How sometimes his gaze drifts, as if he's seeing more than what's right in front of him. The angels say, he's not seeing you, he's seeing himself in you. You are a mirror. A clear, clean, sincere mirror. And that, my dear, can be uncomfortable for someone who has spent their life running from their own reflection. The angels reveal that your presence activates a forgotten memory in him. A purer, fuller, truer version of himself. And that disorients him. Because loving you requires him to face everything he tried to hide, from you, from others, and most importantly, from himself. You turn on the lights where he wanted to keep them off. You bring to the surface pains he pushed deep down into his soul. And even without meaning to, even without realizing it, you're shaking his foundations. Not with words, but with your essence. The angels say, she didn't say anything, but her light screamed. You didn't come to save him, nor to fix him, but to show him that he can be more than he learned to be. That he can love himself beyond his traumas, can surrender beyond his fears, can trust beyond his wounds. But he still doesn't know how to look at all this without blaming himself. He still thinks he doesn't deserve you, that he's too broken for someone so whole. That's why he withdraws. That's why sometimes he hurts you. Because your light reflects the absence of his. And that burns. You need to know, what he feels for you is real. But the way he deals with it is still immature. He wants you, but he doesn't yet know how to be a man in the face of so much love. And here's the paradox. The more you try to show that it's all okay, the more exposed he feels. Because you see what he doesn't want to show. So mirror soul, keep being who you are. But don't dim your light so he can feel less. Your light is the key to healing, not the reason for pain. Stand firm in your truth. And let him decide if he wants to cross that mirror. He doesn't say it, but he feels it. He doesn't admit it, but he trembles. The angels reveal that something is changing inside him, quietly, like the tides that stir from within before showing themselves on the surface. He has begun to feel your absence in a different way. Not like a simple longing, but like a void that unbalances, that disorients, that provokes thought. And without realizing it, he has noticed how much the world grows grayer when you withdraw. The angels say, she hasn't left. But the absence of her energy has echoed off the walls of his heart. Do you know that moment when the soul starts to awaken? It's not sudden. It's not clear. It's a sweet yet painful confusion at the same time. An unsettling that can't be explained, a vacuum that can't be filled with anything else. That's what's happening with him now. He sees you everywhere. In the scent that wafts by. In the music that plays. In the little details, in the gestures that remind him of your way. And the more he tries to ignore it, the more you assert yourself. Not with noise, but with presence. The angels reveal, you are the echo of his transformation. No, he still doesn't understand everything. But he has started to question. He has begun to remember what he felt when he first looked at you. The warmth in his chest, the strange peace, the certainty he didn't want to accept. And this awakened soul is the beginning of everything. Because now he can no longer pretend. His heart has started to speak louder than his mind. And even if he tries to rationalize it, something inside him has already understood. There is something in you that no one else can offer. He won't say it now. It may still take time. But what was born between you has already touched dimensions that go beyond time, beyond flesh, beyond ego. And when love begins to awaken, it doesn't go back to sleep. Let him feel. Let him find. Because those who awaken for love are never the same again. You feel the ebb and flow, the warmth that turns into absence, the gaze that shines and then fades. The angels say there's a pattern, an age-old dance of fear and desire, one he still doesn't know how to break. He draws closer when longing is stronger than pride, and he pulls away when love threatens to touch the wounds he hides. You're not crazy. You're dealing with a heart at war. He wants to stay, but he's afraid of losing himself, the angels whisper. There's something about you that reminds him of who he could be. But for that, he would have to let go of what he believes himself to be today. And that frightens him more than any silence. Because he has learned to survive without love. And now, faced with the chance to experience it, he doesn't know what to do. That's why he comes and goes. Because the feeling is real. But the courage isn't ready yet. Because he feels everything, but can't support anything. Because your light ignites in him the desire to stay, and the fear of change. And you, sensitive soul, feel this in your body. Each disappearance is like an invisible cut. Each return, a breath of hope that compels you to keep going. You're living the cycle of healing. But not alone. He is also breaking inside. The angels say, you're not trapped by him. You're trapped by the idea that you need to wait for him to heal before you can have something real. But what if his healing only comes after you stop trying to save him? What if the strength he needs only arrives when he realizes he could lose you? These back and forths aren't about love. They're about emotional maturity. They're about the courage to break away from the old to make room for the new. You are not his shelter. You are the invitation for him to build his own home. As long as he doesn't accept, he will keep coming and going. And it's up to you to decide how long your heart will remain open. The angels observe everything. And today they ask you for just one thing: choose what heals you, not what just repeats. You didn't have to say anything. You didn't beg for presence. You didn't ask to be loved. And yet, something inside him began to change. The angels say, she healed without touching, loved without demanding. And that was the miracle. There is a silent force in love that doesn't impose itself. It doesn't demand, it doesn't invade. A love that remains even in absence, that cares even in silence. It was this love that you gave, whole, pure, sacred. And he felt it. He felt it when he tried to forget you and couldn't. He felt it when he saw you happy without him and got lost in doubts. He felt it when he realized you didn't need him to be whole, yet you still chose him. The love you offered was balm where there was a wound. It was calm where there was war. And that confused him. Because he expected a fight, expected games, expected demands. But you brought peace. And nobody knows what to do when they receive peace after a life in war. The angels whisper, she wasn't the bitter medicine he feared. She was the touch that eased without hurting. He is beginning to understand that what scares him most about you is precisely what heals him the most. That your firmness confronts him, but also protects him. That your lightness unsettles him, but also transforms him. And the most beautiful thing is that you didn't do this to be accepted. You did it because it's in your nature. Because your soul knows the path to healing. And even hurt, it chose to love. This love that you pour out, even without realizing it, has been working miracles within him. Little by little, he begins to desire to be someone worthy of this love. He starts wanting to become worthy of what you offer. And this, light of my soul, is the greatest sign of transformation. You don't need to prove anything. Your love has already proven everything. Keep being healing. But remember, healing isn't about carrying the burden. Loving isn't about hurting yourself to save another. The medicine of love only works when it is shared, not sacrificed. The angels honor you. And today they say, the love you give is already coming back to you. There are moments when everything feels still. When his silence echoes louder than any word. When time seems cruel, and waiting blends with the fear of being alone. But the angels are here, and they say, daughter, nothing is at a standstill. Everything is being guided. You may not see it, but there is a spiritual movement happening right now. A divine reordering. It's as if heaven is realigning paths, untying invisible knots, preparing hearts for reunion. He is still confused. He is still grappling with feelings he doesn't understand. But something inside him has already yielded. A veil has been lifted. A new awareness has been born. And this did not come because you forced it. It came because you trusted. The angels show that you have planted seeds with your faith. Every tear shed in silence, every prayer uttered with a heavy heart, every time you chose love over pride, all of this has been heard. All of this has been seen. And now they say, it's time to reap. He may not return with beautiful words. He may still come with doubts. But he will come back changed. Because something has been touched. Because God has already begun the work. And even if his return takes longer than your heart would like, know this, it's not a delay. It's preparation. Heaven does not rush what is meant to be eternal. This connection was not meant to fit within human clocks. It was written where time does not rule. And that's why you need to keep moving forward, even without seeing, even without understanding. Because faith is not about answers. It's about steps. And the angels confirm, she is on the right path. Because even wounded, she continues to walk. And when your heart wavers, when fear whispers lies, return to this sacred promise. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your paths. Proverbs 3 verses 5 to 6 you are being guided. He is too. And when the paths meet again, everything will make sense. He seems cold, calculated, inaccessible. But the angels reveal what the eyes cannot see. Inside him is a scared child, trembling in the presence of love. It's not indifference, it's defense. It's not contempt, it's fear. She got too close, the angels say. And he didn't know that someone could see so much, without judging. You touched parts of him that he hid from everyone, even from himself. And that unsettled him. Because until now, he believed that love was a transaction, a game, a means of control. But you came with surrender, with truth, with soul. And that demanded something from him that he didn't know how to give, vulnerability. You saw him without masks, without armor, without shields. And instead of pulling away, you stayed. That beautiful soul made him want to run. Because someone who has spent a lifetime protecting themselves from love finds it strange when someone comes to truly love. He wants you, but he's afraid of what that will require. He's afraid of losing control, of letting his guard down, of needing. Because needing hurts. Because for him, loving still means losing. And even if he doesn't say it, you've already felt it. When you get close, he trembles. When you move away, he misses you. The angels show a heart in conflict, between the desire to surrender and the panic of revealing himself. That's why he goes silent. That's why he hides. Because loving you forces him to confront his own fragility. And he hasn't learned to see beauty in that yet. But look, the fact that he still can't open up doesn't diminish the intensity of what he feels. On the contrary, he feels so much that he fears he can't handle it. The angels say, it's not a lack of feeling. It's an excess of protection. And you, with your nurturing soul, with your non-judgmental gaze, with your unpressured presence, are creating space for him to one day lower his weapons. There are no guarantees, but there is faith. And if you need a sign, here it is: those who sow in tears shall reap with joy. Psalms 126 verse 5. You have already planted. Now it's time to trust in the blossoming. There comes a moment in every spiritual journey when you no longer expect what will come next. You just trust. And you have made it this far. You have felt everything. You lived through every silence. You carried every absence as if holding onto a love with hands full of faith. The angels say, she loved with courage. And now it's time to let go. Letting go is not like giving up. It is trusting so deeply that you no longer need to control. You did everything your soul knew how to do. You loved, cared, waited, and offered your presence without demands. You remained whole even when he seemed shattered. And that is a miracle. Because only very old souls can love like this, with surrender, but without bondage. The angels show me that now is the time to release. To make space in your heart. To allow the universe, at last, to move the pieces. You no longer need to prove anything. The love you offered has already resonated in the spiritual realm. It has touched dimensions that your eyes cannot see. It has planted seeds in lands that have yet to bloom, but will. And if he comes back, let it be by choice. Let it be with awareness. Let it be because he finally understands that what you have is far too rare to be wasted. And if he doesn't return, may you continue in peace. Because your love was pure. And those who love with purity never lose. The angels whisper, she is already enough. Even when she is not chosen. Love yourself, therefore. Choose yourself. Continue your path with the certainty that everything true finds a way to return. Or to remain within, even when it doesn't manifest outside. And if one day you look back, may you see not what was missing, but how whole you were. May you see the beauty in having loved without fear, and in having moved forward with a clean soul. Because the right love, it doesn't demand a fight. It only needs space, and time, and faith. You have already given all of that. Now breathe. Live. Walk. The angels are with you. They always have been. And the promise is still alive. Love never ends. 1 Corinthians 13 verse 8.